What's going on, internet? This is JD coming at you another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. This is my reaction video to the game against Jacksonville, plus some other news that's been going on with the Redskins. I'm actually going to access their website and just go article by article. Let me turn this on silent first. First off, very happy about our win this weekend. We kind of got back to the way that's been working all season. Play good defense, stop the run. You know, we didn't really establish the run very well, but we ran enough that, you know, they had to keep guessing. And let me bring up their website here real quick. All right. And again, this is JD coming at you with Redskin Rant. First off, I'm going to talk about the game. The game, first off, this is the first time we've actually seen our defense kind of return to form in the past 6-7 weeks, at least. It's the first time we've really seen our defense actually show up. That's the first time that we've actually came from behind and won a game this year. We won a game where we trailed in. So that's actually another good first for this time of year. So let's see, first quarter, Josh Jackson, I'll go ahead and talk about him first. Josh Jackson, I don't think he did like superbly great, but he did well enough for us to win, and that's really all we need right now. We don't need someone to go out and put up 500 yards a game with 5 touchdowns to win us the game. We just need someone to come out there, don't turn the ball over, take care of the ball, hit the easy routes, get your checkdowns, take care of the football, run for first downs when you have to, so on and so forth. And I feel like the guy has a lot of desire to actually get this done. You know, this is an opportunity for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him this week. Let me shut this real quick. Just realized so he actually got a chance to show his worth. He's trying to get on an NFL roster. You know, he's not giving up on the dream of being an NFL player, and I'm happy to say that he's our quarterback right now. With that being said, there's some things that he could do definitely better. He doesn't go through all of his progressions as well as he should. He does look through his check down really well. He's definitely a running quarterback. He goes to his first and second progression, then he tries to run the ball. He doesn't go to his safety valve very quickly. He needs to hopefully work on that this week. That's one thing we need to work on this week. So I'm very happy with him. I'm going to give him considering the position he was put in, where he was brought in last week, 2 weeks ago, middle of the week, put on as a backup. Went into that game and actually did pretty decent, put up 2 touchdowns in the last quarter and a half, almost 200 yards of passing. Then he came out and in this game and he was a pretty productive player. Didn't cost us a game. Didn't do things to do bad. Not to mention, I do want those out there. A lot of guys were dropping passes. Okay, he had a lot more opportunities to have, conversions on first down and more passing yards, but a lot of guys were dropping passes. Vernon Davis had one of the worst games he's ever had. He dropped at least 4 passes. So there's a lot of drop passes. He's not dealing with having Jordan Reed right now. I don't know if Jordan Reed's back. I'm back about to check IR, so that's why I brought up, the Redskins website and everything, or their app. So, but that's basically where we're at right now. So, let's see. I'll go to offensive line. Morgan Moses, there's a comment I had on a video, probably people why do you hate Morgan Moses so much? He's not disciplined. That guy has more penalty yards than anyone else in the NFL right now. Because instead of in the offseason working on his footwork to make him faster so he can actually get out in front of people and block better, he holds people. He worked on his strength and he holds people and he gets called for holding all the time. The Redskins are not an explosive offense, so when we're put behind the sticks, first and 20 or second and 15, we're not going to do as well. And that's been the problem with our team all year, and that's why we've never been able to get offensive continuity, even when we had Alex Smith. Alex Smith would have a drive established where we get a first down or 2, and then we get a holding call and we're at first and 25 or first and 20 or something like that. That was a consistent pattern we had at the beginning of the season, and now it's continuing with his new quarterback. The difference is his new quarterback, he's not as talented. Second, we don't have as good an offensive line, so more sacks going to be predominant. And third, we're also not going to be we don't have as many weapons right now. I mean, Jamison Crowder came back and he was okay. He did okay. Josh Doxson, I actually think Josh Doxson's had a pretty decent year this year. Not been great, but it's been pretty decent. He's been enough to say that we should definitely invest another year into the guy. I don't think he was with a first round pick. I'll stand by that. But he's definitely done well enough that we could keep him on the roster and keep investing in time and see if we can get that extra step out of the guy. Tight ends. I mean, Jeremy Sprinkle is actually probably our most reliable tight end right now. We actually signed Matt Flanagan. I think he played for Pitt. I think he'll actually be helpful to us as well. I mean, he wasn't bad. I mean, we just had Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis. I think we need to get rid of Jordan Reed. And I watched another video, and this guy, me and him go back and forth on what he views everything, and I actually agree with him on this. We need to get people out of their locker room that aren't on the field, that can't get on the field consistently. And what I mean by that is Ryan Kerrigan the greatest player ever? No. But he does what he can to not miss a game. He'll play injured. He'll play with hurt hamstring, dislocated shoulder, whatever. He'll do what he can to get on the field for the franchise and for the team. Jordan Reed feels like he has every opportunity in the world to always take weeks off and get his money without having to earn it as much. So we need more guys like that. And again, I'm actually going to steal a point from him. He said this too, and I agree with him on this. I agree with him last year when we had this. We had Mac Brown, and everyone and their mother sat there and said, we don't want Rob Kelly. We don't want Shamaje Perine. Start Mac Brown. He has the most explosive plays when he plays. Give the guy more carries, and let's see what he can do. And instead, we let the guy walk out the building. So, we let him go, and some other team signed him to their practice squad or something like that. And we never got a chance to try the guy out. We never tried the guy. Let me phrase that. We never tried using that guy. Okay? So, we do that all the time. Malcolm Floyd is another example. I don't think he's been bad this year, but we had a guy like Simeon Cobbs. We lost him off our practice squad because we let the frickin' Saints take him. We've had injured receivers all year. Why wouldn't you activate that guy? He's a good player. Activate the guy. It's just stupid things like that the Redskins keep doing. And there's guys that are have that killer instinct that we really need to invest time in, and we don't do that. We invest time in the projects that the might be's instead of the what they are. Okay? If you look at, what's a good example? If you look at Chris Thompson, he's kind of an example of this because he's got a pretty big contract considering he's a backup running back. Okay? Why do we give him a big contract? Is it for what he's going to do or what he has the potential to do? It's what he has the potential to do. Jordan Reed, what did he get a big contract for? Is it because of what he's done? Not really, because he hasn't done a lot because he's been injured all the time. Or is it based on the potential what he can do? Okay? That's what he got a big contract for. Not for what he is, it's what he could be. Ryan Kerrigan got paid based on what he is and what he's going to do. And he is not he's never disappointed me as a fan. I mean, sometimes he's not always, he's not great covering people out of the backfield. He's never claimed to be that. Okay? And that's a lot of players that we have, like Zach Brown and Mason Foster. Two linebackers that are pretty good in covering runs, but if teams pass on them, they're not very good in coverage. So we signed them based on the potential of what they could be rather than what they are. Okay? Now, it's the NFL. Not every player, you're not going to get every great athlete in the world, so you got to take what you can get. But we do that very often is we keep guys that have the potential to be good rather than guys that actually showcase what they are, and we don't take advantage of what they are now. Instead, we try to invest money and hope it turns into something. That's the best way to put it. So with that being said, offensive line didn't do great in this game. They didn't do super great. They didn't do horrible. I mean, they could have done a lot worse. I mean, Jacksonville, it's as bad as they've played this year. They're a 4-something team. They do have a good defensive front, and we didn't really run on them. We more or less had a quarterback scramble for first downs, and Adrian Peterson put some nails in coffins late, so he didn't have a lot of yards. He had catching yards, but he didn't have a lot of yards. And so the offensive line did okay based on the circumstance and the scenario. I also like the fact that the team didn't have any quit in them. The offense, we didn't have a lot of play action. We had a lot of play action. We didn't have a lot of draws, a lot of screens. I don't like the fact that we got rid of Bibbs and kept Marshall. Bibbs is a much better player than Marshall. He's shown that he can do the job. He's a better blocker out of the backfield, so on and so forth. basically Bruce Allen's going to get fired because he keeps letting people go that have talent and they go somewhere else and thrive. It's a habit with the Redskins. It's a thing that we've always had. It's Washington's curse, really, because the Washington Wizards have the same exact curse, where they have. And if you don't know, I'm actually I usually have these pinned to the ceiling, but the thing broke. So I'm actually a Wizard fan too, and I have other banners for other teams, but I'm a big basketball fan. But with football, I just like my Redskins. Washington has this curse where with basketball, here's an example. In the draft that Reggie Miller was drafted in, we could have gotten Reggie Miller. The Bullets could have gotten Reggie Miller if they just traded their second round pick and their first round pick and traded up and swapped picks. Didn't want to do it, so we missed out on Reggie Miller. We had Rip Hamilton at one point. We had a chance at Steph Curry, but instead we traded Michael Miller for the fifth pick in the draft. And, I mean, they didn't draft him either, but we could have had him at the fifth overall pick in the draft. In the year that Steph Curry was picked. I can keep going. There's tons of opportunities we missed out on really good players with the Wizards. But basically, just long story short, we always push guys away that go somewhere else and thrive. And like, look how Trent Murphy is doing on other teams. I mean, Will Compton's not doing bad on other teams. Quarterback, look at our quarterback. Brad Johnson leaves us and goes to win a Super Bowl. Okay? He leaves us and goes and wins the Super Bowl. Trent Green, we had Trent Green. Leaves us and goes to Kansas City, and I think he had a lot of concussions, but he leaves us, goes to Kansas City, and actually had some pretty good years where he's very productive. Had a very high-powered offense for a few years. And I can keep going down the list. But I'll skip from the offense. The offense gets like a C plus from me. They only got one touchdown. They moved the ball decently, but they had a lot of drops that really stalled some drives and a lot of stupid penalties. So I'll talk about the defense now. Grade. C plus. C plus for the offense. I give the quarterback a B minus. Based on circumstance, I'll give him B plus. Receivers get a C. Tight ends. Vernon Davis gets an F, and Jeremy Sprinkle I'll give him a B. And the offensive line, based on circumstance, gets like a B minus. So overall, I do think the team gets a running game was non-effective other than the quarterback scrambling. So running backs get like a C minus. So I give the whole offense a C plus. Defensively, I thought our defense actually finally showed up. We had some plays where they broke it free and got some extra yards and more than they should have. Tackling just hasn't been the greatest, but still, they still stepped up. They still held a team to, was it 13 points? I think we won 16-13. Let me double check that real quick. I'll check it real quick. Yeah, 16-13. So we did good enough to win in that game. We did do good enough to win. We had opportunities. And because of our defense, the defense got forced 2 turnovers. Stopped the run. Really got after Cody Kessler. So that really helped us a lot. He was running for his life most of the game. He still had a lot of yards because he broke loose. And that happens. I mean, we did the same thing. So that's just part of the game. Monty Nicholson, I believe, is out for this game because he got in some kind of brawl or something. I mean, now we really need Ha Ha Clinton Dix. I was kind of hoping the last 2 games we would just move Ha Ha Clinton Dix to special teams, and then we'd let him go. I still think that's why our defense has not been great, is because we really were just trying to be basic to try to get him acclimated. Now this week he didn't do horrible. I mean, he didn't do horrible. Didn't do god awful. But I mean, he didn't also do great. He didn't knock anyone's socks off. He didn't knock my socks off, at least. So he didn't do things that I would consider to make him great. He didn't he didn't blow me out of the water with what he did. So that being said, I mean, defense, you get a B plus, you get a B plus. You held the team to 13, so that's an A. You gave up a lot of rushing yards, so that's kind of a C plus. Passing defense you forced 2 turnovers, so that's A. So I think it averaged out to about a B plus. So overall, everything averages out to be about, the team grade is about a B minus. Did not play great. This is a team we could have easily put up about 25 on because it's just not good enough. They're not going to outscore us. All we have to do is, ground and pound and be smarter. You take away all these not turnovers, these shoot, lose my train of thought. You take away all these penalties, and we are a much better football team than what's on paper. Take away all these penalties, we convert first downs or third downs. We get a lot more yards. We, you can look at every game. We sustain drives and we win time of possession. So on and so forth. There's a lot of those things that we have going on that we just don't always do. This week's going to be a tough game. This week is against the Titans. The Titans are a very tough football team. They have a solid defense. They have a really good running game. I don't have faith in Mariota, so I hope that they have a spy on him. And they also don't have a great passing game. So I think if we stop the run game and force Mariota to beat us with his arm, I think that's our key, our recipe for success. Now we also, I think this week, we're going to actually surprise some people offensively. I think we're going to be a little bit better than we have been. Titans have been a pretty solid defense all year, but I don't think they got a lot of game film on Josh Jackson to really have a solid, solid scouting report to kind of get, properly play defense against us. So I think if we convert ourselves more to a West Coast style where we get the ball out quicker, I think it's going to help us a lot. So it gives Josh Jackson a lot easier reads. And if you get the ball out quicker and you have an option, you don't take it, and you don't have a safety valve, you can run easier. You can run quicker, and I think that would give us. I think that would be the best option. I would do offensively. I would run the ball a lot, do a lot of play actions, do quick passing routes. Don't do long developing deep balls. We have not had success with that all year for the most part. Alex Smith had a little bit of success. We just overall just have not had a lot of success doing those things. So I would recommend us not do that, but we'll see. Jay Gruden does not always go with the I don't want to say the smart thing because he's a very smart coach. He doesn't always go with the he goes against logic sometimes because he tries to catch the other team off guard. I don't think wasting plays and throwing the ball deep, trying to stretch the defense back, is going to be a good way to do that. I think the best way to do this is to pound the ball, do play action, do quick passes, and if they start like creeping up a lot, let them put 9 on the box and then beat them deep. Okay? But make sure that you're sucking them up first. You can't throw the ball on like the first drive of the game deep 3 times and hope the defense is going to back up 10 yards. It's not how it's going to work. Okay? You got to pull them up. You got to make sure they're coming forward, and then you can throw that deep ball. Okay? Let's see here. I'm going to stick with my opinion. Jay Gruden does not deserve to lose his job at the end of this season. He has not had the team healthy the last 2 years. Who I do think needs to lose their job is altogether the entire medical staff of the Washington Redskins need to be fired, kicked out. The training staff needs to be fired, kicked out. And the only thing I would say that Jay Gruden needs to actually help with when it comes to coaching is he needs to be more disciplined. He needs to get his players more disciplined. Way too many penalties for a team that is, let's just think of it this way. If we remove half the penalties we have, we probably have another 2 games we've won. Okay? We have the Texans game that we'd have won if we remove half our penalties. Okay? We have at least maybe the Dallas game. We probably could have won that. The second Dallas game. Maybe the Eagles game. Maybe one of the earlier games we wouldn't have got behind so far that we had no chance of coming back. One of the earlier games in the season. That's definitely a possibility. So I can tell you an example. We had a game against, was it Atlanta? I think it was Atlanta, where we actually had like 3 drives with drop passes or penalties like on the first 2 plays. And it doesn't help the defense whenever they're going against a juggernaut offense and you can't establish a drive to actually put some points on the board so the other team has a little bit of pressure, like now we got to get pressure to score to counter what their offense just did. Does that make sense? So, we're winding down here for the season. I'm actually going to do another video tomorrow. It's not going to be about the Redskins. It's going to be about a bunch. The playoff picture, a little bit of predictions, so on and so forth. If you have any questions you'd like to throw in, go ahead and put it in the comment section on this video, and I'll happily answer them tomorrow at the end of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 200 subscribers. I got about 130, 120 something right now, 130. So I'd like to get over 200. Other than that, let's go Redskins. We play Saturday this week, so make sure we're able to catch it. Other than that, if you don't see any of my other videos, then Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to those who don't celebrate Christmas. And that's it. Hail to the Redskins. This is JD. See ya.